Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US government is set to issue a wide range of sanctions against Russia in response to what it calls cyber attacks. The move would be retaliation for cyber attacks aimed at the US, including alleged interference in the 2020 presidential elections. The sanctions target more than 30 Russian entities and include the expulsion of at least 10 individuals from the US. In a call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Mr. Biden said the US would act firmly in defense of its national interests. Protests have gathered at the Brooklyn Center police station in Minnesota, hours after authorities charged the officer who shot and killed Donte Wright. Kim Potter, who fatally shot Wright, has been charged with second-degree manslaughter. She was arrested and later released on a $100,000 bail. Some protesters threw bottles and other projectiles over a fence surrounding the building, and at least 24 people have been arrested. Denmark has ceased giving the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID vaccine amid concerns about rare cases of blood clots.
We have intensively investigated.
It is the first country to stop using AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine altogether. The move is expected to delay the country's vaccination program by several weeks. Danish officials said that all 2.4 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine would be withdrawn until further notice. Hong Kong is marking its first National Security Education Day, aimed at promoting a sweeping law that Beijing imposed on the semi-autonomous territory last year. Schools celebrated with patriotic displays of flag raising. Members of the Hong Kong police performed military marches in the same style as police and soldiers in mainland China for spectators. They also held a series of anti-terrorism drills. The new law has drawn criticism for curbing rights and freedoms. The legislation punishes anything Beijing deems subversion, secession, terrorism or collusion with foreign forces, with up to life in prison. UN officials say the humanitarian crisis caused by volcanic eruptions on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent will last for months. It's thought nearby islands, including Barbados, Antigua and Bermuda, could also be badly affected. About 20,000 people have been evacuated from their homes since La Soufriere volcano began erupting last Friday. The UN is setting up an international funding appeal, as 4,000 of those displaced are now living in 87 shelters. North Koreans have marked the 109th birthday anniversary of the state's founder, Kim Ilsung. Rare images show Pyongyang residents laying flowers in front of the statues of the state's founder Kim Il-sung and late leader Kim Jong-il on Mansu Hill. The Day of the Sun, which is the birthday of current leader Kim Jong-un's grandfather Kim Il-sung, is considered the biggest holiday of the year in North Korea. Eritrean soldiers have opened fire on civilians in Ethiopia's embattled Tigray region, killing 3 people and wounding at least 19. Amnesty International said the unprovoked attack took place in the centre of Adwa town in the Tigray region. They said Eritrean soldiers were shooting from the backs of military trucks. The human rights watchdog is calling for an international investigation into this and other human rights violations in Tigray. And finally, the Notre Dame Cathedral is holding up and should be officially out of danger 2 years after a fire devastated the Paris landmark. Workers are currently consolidating the vault of the cathedral, where once stood the long spire which fell through the building during the blaze. French President Emmanuel Macron undertook to restore the cathedral within 5 years, but to date, most work on the site has focused on making the building safe, including clearing toxic lead from the roof and spire that melted in the fire. The completion date for the restoration and reopening of the cathedral is set for 2024. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.